right, Diona, the bartender of Cat's Tail. She's a cat with a hat who's also kind of fat, and because I just said that, someone's gonna beat me with a bat. Holy shit. Anyways, before we start the video, I just want to mention that only a small percentage of you guys are actually subscribed to this channel, so make sure to press that subscribe button because it's free and you can always change your mind. I was just editing the video and I just found this out. Like, look at this. Her head is so big compared to Timmy's. Look at this. Her head's so big. Alrighty, so story time. Diona, yes, it's supposed to be pronounced Diona, not Diona. Diona's story is pretty interesting, but I'll give you the basic stuff. So, if you don't know, that's her dad. She works at the Cat's Tails Tavern as a bartender. Yes, she's still a minor. She doesn't own the place. It's owned by this annoying woman who keeps getting in the way whenever you try to interact with NPCs. But due to her appearances, she became a mascot for the place anyways. She also hates Deluxe, Kaya, and Venti because they either own a winery or they like alcohol, which is honestly pretty ironic because she works at a bar. To this day, Diona has two goals set in her mind. The first one is to create the most disgusting cocktail brew possible, and she really tries to put the most ridiculous shit into a brew, but due to her blessing, which is a special ability that Diona possesses, all of her drinks taste amazing. Also, she proclaims herself as the wine industry slayer, and her final objective is to destroy Mondstadt's entire wine industry. So now let's look at her abilities. Elemental skill. Cat Missile. Now there's two versions, one you tap and the other one you hold. If you tap, Diona shoots 2 cryopaws, and if you hold, Diona does a backflip, then fires out 5 cryopaws that deals minor cryo damage. Tap has faster cooldown than the hold, but the hold has more paws. She also creates a cat-shaped cryo shield in the process, which has 250% cryo damage absorption, and the duration of your shield is based on the number of paws that hit the enemy, and your cat missiles are targeted, so you can't miss unless you're out of range. But you can kill these missiles whenever they fly away. Elemental Burst. Alcohol Pool. Diona throws her cocktail saying "F you booze head" and damaging enemies with cryo damage, then creating an AoE cryo field that heals allies. If the enemy is within this AoE, they'll take continuous cryo damage, so it's a pretty amazing skill. The unfortunate thing about this ability is that the energy cost is at a whopping 80. Why is this so high? Holy shit.
I said, hold up, wait a minute.
Moving on to passive talents. Passive 1, Shield Speed Boost. When any of your characters are within Diona's shield, they gain 10% movement speed with 10% decrease to their stamina consumption, which is very supportive of her. Passive 2, Don't touch me after you touched alcohol, you dirty c***. You're going to jail. Enemies within Diona's alcohol pool will have their attack decreased by 10%. Passive 3. I have the same passive 3 as Barbara. Oh no. Diona has a chance of creating an extra healing dish. Story time 2. So the reason why Diona hates wine is because of her dad, Draff. Apparently, he's the best hunter, or whatever, you know, the useless title that no one cares about in this game. So Diona respected him a lot, but then all that respect for her dad shattered when she first saw him get drunk. She thinks it's the wine's fault for bewitching people and making them stupid, which is half right. So now she hates everyone who's related to wine, and she hates wine in general, but she works at a bar. Now for constellations. Constellation 1. Diona gets 15 energy after her alcohol pool evaporates. Constellation 2, Ice Paws hits a little bit harder and her cat shield is a little bit stronger, and now in co-op, Diona can share her cat shield with her entire team for 5 seconds, but their cat shield is crappier than yours. Constellation 3, Diona's cocktail now has 50% alcohol instead of 5% alcohol. Holy fucking shit. Constellation 4, within Diona's pool, her charge attack time is now reduced by 60%. Constellation 5, your cat paws hits a little bit harder and your cat shield gets a little bit stronger. Well, it gets a lot stronger and it hits a lot harder. Constellation 6, Bennett's Q, but instead of attack boost, she gives you 200 elemental mastery. Yes, these constellations are very supportive. That's what they're for. Support. Now for artifacts, but before we go over the actual build that I'm about to recommend, here's what some of you wanted out of this video. DPS Diona. I'm about to jam all the information about her DPS into 1-ish minute. The artifacts I'm trying to use true 4-piece set because everything else has 0 damage potential, and even if I try to do damage with the Catapult, it's only doing about 58% damage each. Multiplying that by 5 is my first best choice for damage. So for that build, 2-piece Blizzard and 2-piece troop set. Second option is the whole charge shot build with the 4-piece troop set, and both of these will have the casual DPS requirements for crit rate and crit damage and cryo damage and attack. Generally is there mainly for the debuff, but also because of the 4-piece special set, which allows anyone on the team to have a 35% elemental damage increase for the matching elemental over crystallized shield. So if I pick up cryo shields, then Diona gets a 35% cryo boost. But the issue is Jolene is that his pillars keeps crystallizing with elements, which sometimes leads to him creating the wrong crystal, and if you get near it, you might accidentally change your crystal, which is annoying, so you can replace Jolene with any Geo unit you want. Then it's there for damage booster. Then I needed someone to constantly provide pyro while Diona was aiming, so I decided to use someone like Xinyan. You can put Guobao, but I think Xinyan's last longer and it's easier to time it with Diona's charge shots. So if you pick up the combo to maximize Diona's damage, then you get this. Oh my god, DPS Diona, she's so fun to play. I had so much fun doing this. She's such a... that process is really not so annoying at all. Like, trust me, it's so fun, and that's such a big damage. Obviously, this is not a major number, but to be fair, she's not made for this. Her talent level is still at 5. Also, my artifacts are trash, so if you really want to invest in Diona as a sub DPS, even though her whole kit is much easier to use as a support. But I guess you can try it because it's a free game, it's your account. But for me, this is as far as I'm going for Diona. I probably can't even call it a DPS because it's just that one shot. I'm so tired. Oh my god. Story time 3. So how did Diona get her blessing to create tasty brews no matter what? Well, you see, in Springvale, there's this fairy who turned water into healing water or whatever that healed a mother and a son who was dying or something. But the important part of that story is that the fairy had powers to turn water into something miraculous. Diona believed in this fairy, and one day this fairy approached Diona and blessed her, saying that, quote unquote, may your cup always run over with sweet wine of celebration. Diona thought this was a dream, but this happened for real, so it's kind of Diona's fault for having this power that she hates to the core. Now for the support build. Personally, I use her as a support because I didn't invest in her as a damage dealer. Well, I did, but it went horribly. And since Diona has abilities that shields and heals you, I personally just go with the energy recharge and HP without focusing on anything else on the primary stat, because her elemental abilities are reliant on HP alone. So energy recharge for my hourglass, HP for goblet, and also HP for crown. And the reason why I didn't go full HP Diona is because of her high energy cost of 80. Moving on to piece sets. For a beginner, Exiles and Instructor is your best choice. For endgame, there's 2 ways: 4-piece Maiden or 4-piece Noblesse. The reason why you don't want to go with Bolide is because of the shield buff on Bolide will only affect the character that's equipping the Bolide set piece. So that's a big no-no if you're trying to use that shield for your teammates. So let me explain about the piece sets. So 4-piece Maiden for healing, massive healing, and 4-piece Noblesse is an attack boost option for your team other than shield and heal. This is a great option if you think you have enough healing from Diona. Alrighty, so weapons, 5-star weapons, they are all DPS bows, but to brief out what these do, Amos bow is damage, 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 and Skyward harp is damage, crit rate, crit damage, and damage. Pretty simple. 4 stars, 2 choices, and they are not free to play. Favonius bow, high recharge rate, ability might be kind of useless unless you have decent crit rate, but recharge rate is just really high. Sacrificial bow, best choice for Diona if you have to at least refinement rank 2, because you get to spam your E twice in a row, providing you with a lot of energy as bonus. But if you just want a shit ton of energy, I would just recommend Favonius, because that's fine choice too. Now for teams, honestly, any team is fine. She's a character with a kit that fits in any team, mainly because her job is to shield, heal, and energy recharge. She's really not a difficult character to use as a support, and she performs very well with any reaction teams. But I guess your team choices can depend on the 4-piece sets that you're using. If you're using a Noblesse 4-piece set, then make sure you don't have anyone else in the team with that piece set because they don't stack. And Maiden 4-piece set, I guess that part really doesn't matter. So how the f do you play Diona? Well, she has a really easy kit to use, like I said before, but things that you should probably keep in mind. Number 1. Diona can only cast her shield when it hits the enemy, and sometimes the enemy gets to you too quickly for you to cast your shield, which sometimes leads to these to jump at a kid, a vulnerable kid, with all their might when you don't have the shield up. So in cases like this, I would recommend you to just tap your cat shield because the tap shield is pretty sturdy as well. Number 2. Whenever your cat shield is protecting you, it increases your movement speed and decreases your stamina consumption, meaning that you can switch into someone else to spam your charge attacks. So very good. Number 3, try to keep your enemies within your alcohol pool so they deal less damage. This is why CC helps a lot in these situations, so you can keep your enemies in one spot with that AoE. But yeah, that's actually pretty much it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I promise you that I'll have a more proper schedule for my uploads. Because wow, it's been 2 weeks since I last uploaded, and I'll make sure to upload at least every week. Yeah, I'll try to keep that promise. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Other than that, bye bye.